if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
How do you deal with actors who don't do what they're told? That's a tricky one. Do you know what? It never happens. I've been lucky. I've sort of had final edit from the very beginning, and I often work with the same crew and actors, and they're great. I really can't remember. I reckon it's been 2 times in 25 years when there's been a difficult actor. And the truth is, you can't do anything, really. You've got to take it on the chin and, go, oh yeah, you see your point, because they've got you by the balls. Because in a production, if you've got an actor in for a day or a couple of days or whatever, everything's in place. Sometimes you've got actors for one day and they're going on to another job, or you've got a location for one day. You can't just fire an actor because they're being an arsehole, because you've got to start again. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. I can't go to the studio and go, oh, I fired him, he was annoying me. And what are you going to do? I go, don't know. So you've got to sort of go, fucking no, okay, yeah, good point. And get the best out of them. You've got to treat them like fucking children, really. Because they're spoiled and they've been turned into children. Particularly actors, it's like it's all they've ever done. Like they've been acting since they were 18 or something, or straight out of college. Everyone's doing something. People fucking tie your laces for you, get you coffee when you want it. I've seen actors gob their chewing gum into the fucking makeup woman's hand. You know what I mean?
Friend is Blake Lively. I'm going to be able to watch her in an interview, because what's happened is that this Norwegian journalist named Kirsty Flaw has come out and said that Blake Lively was so awful to me when I've interviewed her that she made me want to reconsider my career. Take a listen.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump? Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you...
Yeah. I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your brain on feminism.
So they're just like, they're spoiled little brats, right? But I haven't worked with any of them, to be honest. But when it happens, you've just got to get through it and never work with them again. And that's it, really. But I've been very lucky. What the annoying thing is if something annoys you, like say I'm directing and I'm acting in something, if I'm worried about something, then I've got to be funny. That's the difficult bit. If you're just sitting behind the monitor going, do this, do that, you can sort of cope with it. If you're in a scene with someone and they've annoyed you and you've got to be funny, but you're fucking fuming. That's when it's difficult. But you just avoid those situations. Some people get references. Some people work with the same people all the time, like me, so it's never a problem. And the rare case of when someone's acting up, you just got to get through it, really. And never work with them again.
Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... So...
Did it come in yesterday? You could have seen it.
Oh, really? It was just this morning?
Well, yesterday, late afternoon.
Yeah, you can kind of see it better.
The appalling state of peril of free speech in this country, and what British people are being subjected to on a creeping authoritarian basis in terms of obviously the Online Safety Act, which we can talk about, which Reform has committed to repeal, because all it's doing, it's making children less safe, and it is having a very chilling effect on political dissent in this country. But it's also, we can talk about the Connolly case. We can talk about, obviously, the case of the Father Ted, the creator Father Ted, that was where 5 armed police were deployed to arrest somebody for tweets. Well, because we have legislation in this country which means that more people are arrested for speech in the UK than in Russia. And so the fact that that is true should be something of great concern to everyone in the country. Again, regardless of your political leanings, regardless, the ability to speak your mind freely, with some constraints, of course, inciting violence, shouting fire in a theatre, but that's not what we're talking about here. And now you've got senior figures from the police coming out where the police are saying, well, change the laws then. And I agree with that. I think for too long, you now got the Prime Minister criticising the police, which is, I think, completely unacceptable and ridiculous. When you have left, it is literally the job of politicians, Lois, to legislate, to make the laws. And what I've said is that, Reform are committed to not abdicating that responsibility. Reform will absolutely legislate to make this country a serious one again.
I am the broadcaster here. I can say anything. Everyone can join in. No one can get offended, or they can just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. Keep it free for you. That's what I want to do. Really keep it free for you. So get it sponsored by someone. I don't know how that would work. I'd quite like to do it that old-fashioned way, where I say, hello, welcome to Load of Bollocks, sponsored by Jameson's, smooth Irish whiskey. And I choose things that I actually like, so I wasn't lying. I'd want to say what I want about them. They pay me if they like. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't change any of the content. They can't say, oh, you can't talk about this. I go, bollocks. I talk about what I want. So you've got to be careful what you're sponsored by, so they're not too precious. Like if you get sponsored by the Vatican, you're asking for trouble. They'd call up one day and go, we don't like to talk about the cock in the drain. I go, you changed. So I want to be having a talk about in drains, alien slugs, and all that shit.
And unfortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution.
I mean, luckily, I don't think you can take people to court over jokes. Not in a sensible, civilized society where freedom of speech is a cornerstone. It's getting that way. I think there was some sort of thing trying to be passed in Scotland that you could be done for being grossly offensive in a joke. I didn't look into it, but you can't have that. It's a nonsense.
Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones. warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizen suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Who's to say what? I told you before, if there is a law where you can call the police if someone offends you, I will be on the fucking phone 24/7. I will spend my entire fortune on a bank of 1,000 people on phones just calling the police saying I'm offended. What is it? Fat bloke on a skateboard. Yeah, he's 28. Yeah, he's dressed like a toddler and he's going up and down my street on a skateboard. I find it grossly offensive. All right, you see him get fucking taken away. I will complain about anything that annoys me to show what a fucking farce such a law would be, that you can say something that someone finds offensive, that their feelings are more important than your freedom of speech. So no.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of facts. That, I think, is one of the big tasks of social media. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the First Amendment, but that also says, look, there is a difference between these platforms letting all voices be heard versus a business model that elevates the most hateful voices or the most polarizing voices or the most dangerous in the sense of inciting violence voices. And that I think is going to be a big challenge for all of us that we're going to have to undertake.
Campbell, what was the reaction? What has the reaction been to the title of your current stand-up show? I'm going to get a ticket while they're still cheap. Mortality. I don't know. I suppose. I mean, all my titles are sort of. They're largely irrelevant. It's something to hang off. There's a slight theme, but you always end up talking about the same sort of stuff, don't you? Your life, what you've seen. I deal in the same subjects. I always have because I'm interested in the big subjects, you know, life and death and morality and all that. So I don't think the reaction to the show's been great, but it always is. Every time I do a show, I'll tour for a year. Every night is fantastic, sold out, everyone loved it. It's not until it goes on Netflix and someone gets a clip and someone puts it up and says, this is disgusting. And everyone goes, yeah, it's awful. They weren't there. So I only do it for the people who bought a ticket, got up, went out. I do it for them and they have a great night. Now it goes on Netflix. I'm not really bothered, but because people can then package outrage. They go to a show, they can't really go, there's nowhere to go. What do? Tweet, I didn't like it. Someone goes, oh, whatever. But when they get a little clip and go, look at this terrible bit, look at this awful, offensive bit, people can go, yeah. But the good thing about that sort of thing is it's come out the other side. No one really cares now. You know, with the last sort of few years, people have been able to stir up trouble, but you just ride the waves, or I did, and now I think no one even cares. Now someone tries to stir up trouble, people go, yeah, you're we know, we assumed, which is good. I think they sort of overplayed their hand a little bit. They cried wolf too many times, So I suppose that's the good thing that's come out of cancel culture. People just go, shut the up. They still try though. Good luck to them.
Did Biden make a blunder, or did he have no choice really but to do this?
I mean, there's obviously a fair share of you got your pillaging, you got all that, you got your murders. They're safe.
What's disgusting about it is that he BS'd for so many times that he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. And that's when he was going to run for president. So he lied. But that's typical of all politicians. All they are lying pieces of crap to get their way into office. So should he have done it? You know, Judge Andrew Napolitano, who was he was a Supreme Court judge in New Jersey. He knows the Bill of Rights and the Constitution better than anybody that I know. He just wrote an article about the Biden pardoning his son. And he goes on to say, it's not right. But he goes on to also say what the son did was not that terrible in terms that, let me get the proper language here, is that he harmed no one by his tardy tax payment with interest and penalties. And he harmed no one obtaining a gun permit and discarding the weapon. Thus, the three components of crime, legitimate authority, palpable harm, and articulable victim, are all absent in the Hunter Biden case. So that's the way the judge looks at it. But as I look at it, again, he lied and said he wasn't going to do it. But think about this. Then you got Trump. Trump gave this guy, Jared Kushner's father, when Trump was president, he pardoned him of his criminal activities. Oh, and now he just appointed him as America's ambassador to France. I'm just pointing it out. This is not a government. It's a crime syndicate.
Say this was a world where there was only one ruler and for a day you ruled it. I like it. I don't actually. I'd say no. If someone said, oh, you're the ruler of the world on the 5th of June, I wouldn't sleep till the 5th of June. On the 4th of June, I'd get out of it. I'd go, I can't. I can't do it. I don't want the pressure.
But Biden didn't pardon him for those two particular crimes that he'd been convicted of. He pardoned him for any crime that he may have committed. And what date did he choose? January of 2014, 3 weeks before Hunter started work, in quotation marks, at Burisma in Kiev. That's the rat that we can smell, isn't it?
Well, of course, it's not only, it's also that other little clown boy that ran for president. And again, these are all daddy's boys, John Kerry, his stepson-in-law, Chris Hines of the Hines 57 family. He was also on Burisma Energy. And this is after the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014. Right away, these two clown boys that don't know anything about Burisma Energy or energy, they're on the board of directors, making tens of millions of dollars in front of everybody's eyes, but that's okay. So, yeah, I agree with you. What they're doing, it's a crime syndicate that people call a government. Again, this is your Trends Journal back in 2014. You see how happy that guy is? It's all about America's overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych. And the article is written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. And he makes it clear right here. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda, and goes on to talk about the overthrow. And then Biden brings his little boy in, a little drug addict, nothing little clown, shot up freak. But I know all about Burisma Energy.
You have the power to change the laws, but only one law you choose stays changed after 24 hours. What law would you want changed permanently? Well, it would be something around. It would be something around human or animal rights, definitely. It'd be good, wouldn't it? To you're not allowed to. Just not allowed to kill anything for a laugh. You're not allowed to kill an animal for a laugh. You're not allowed to just go trophy hunting. It's illegal. I mean, it should be in fox hunting. Just ridiculous fucking blood sports. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to cause an animal any fucking pain unless it's a really good reason, like self-defense. If you're asleep at night and a shark gets in your window and starts eating it, you're allowed to hurt it. There you go. Anything else? don't fucking torture and murder animals for a laugh. That's gone, right?
This little clown boy of nothing. You've been sucking off the public tit for over 60 years. A little jerk. And again, I want to make this clear too. All these little warmongers, you talked about Trump, he killed Soleimani, tried to overthrow the government of Venezuela. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to be tough. These guys, they're all, I'm the same age as Trump. And Biden's, a couple of years older than me. We grew up during the Vietnam War. These little clown boys that talk real tough, they got 4 and 5 draft deferments. And they love war. So anyway, going back to what Trump is going to do, Trump is going to do anything he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how he wants to do it, and nobody's going to stop him. So Biden could get away with murder. They all could get away with murder. Look at their track records. By their deeds you shall know them. Look at the murderers. What, you like Bill Clinton's murders? Look what he did to Iraq. Killed over 500,000 Iraqi children. Ruined Yugoslavia. How about the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama? When we got Afghan troop surge, I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. Get rid of Assad. All right, it's a crime syndicate. Talk about anyone you want. You were talking about Boris Johnson before. The best cartoonist in the world. Couldn't come up with a little freakier little clown boy than that. Take a look at that little Catson Macron over there in France. Hey, how about Olaf Scholz? The people that get into government are the lowest pieces of slime that you could imagine. Not my language, a language of a real man that was in war, that hated war. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, 2-term president. Google it up. Any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy.
If you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life.
The U.S. attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. This morning, we're getting a look at some of the damage done over the weekend. Aerial images you see there showing impact on the surface. U.S. forces around the region and authorities at home are on alert for potential retaliation from Iran, warning its military will decide the timing, nature, and scale of its response.
I like dealing with taboo subjects, you know that, because I think the audience is already tense, and I like going there. I like talking about things that some people are worried about or whatever. And I don't think they feel alienated because I'm often on their side. I'm often creating an outside enemy to them as well, like oppression or cancel culture or bosses, the filthy rich. So it's like us against them, I suppose. And I try and be one of them.
This is a plan that took months and weeks of positioning and preparation so that we could be ready when the President of the United States called.
The Speaker of the House, who is from your own party, has really rejected this. He says the Article 1 power of Congress really allows for the president to do this. It was a limited, necessary, targeted strike, he says.
Well, he's probably referring to the War Powers Act of 1973, but that's been misinterpreted. There was no imminent threat to the United States, which was what would authorize that. And I think that's peculiar to hear that from the Speaker of the House. Look, Congress was on vacation last week when all this was happening.
You haven't been briefed on any of the
We
details.
haven't been briefed. They should have called us all back. And frankly, we should have debated this War Powers resolution that Ro Khanna and I offered instead of staying on vacation and doing fundraisers and saying, oh, well, the president's got this under control. We're going to cede our constitutional authority.
What has all this been about if it does not destroy the nuclear material? Of course, what Israeli Channel 13 means is that the only way that you can destroy Iran's nuclear industry is by person, boots on the ground. And that is only possible if you have regime change. They've even appointed the new head of state, that fella in Los Angeles, who's never been in Iran since he was a child. He's the new head of state. And just to throw some sand in the face, there's going to be a Sunni Muslim prime minister. They've got the terrorist group, MK. They've got the Renta mob, Kurdish factions, ready to march on Tehran, but they cannot muster the 1 million strong army that they would require.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb. It'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And just lastly, that's what you're talking about. Can penetrate up to 200 feet below the surface. And then, of course, we'll see it try and put the second one in there and go down in there. Yeah. Let's bring in David Burke, our Top Gun and former Top Gun instructor, retired U.S. Marine Corps officer. Now, David, I don't know how well we did that, but you know this better than anybody. Talk to us about, questions over whether or not this can successfully be done.
Said a lot of shit I don't understand. And if I don't understand it, you don't understand it.
I've got a queue of names I can give you. 80 countries long. 80 countries long that the United States has invaded since the end of World War II. Invaded or subverted by way of proxy armies or assisted in the terrorist overthrow, mass murder, assassination, and other means to alter the course of the trajectory of those countries struggling to be free. So Israel can't be blamed for those, you see. It's not Israel that overthrew President Salvador Allende in Chile in 1973. It's not Israel that murdered millions of people in Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos in the 1960s and 70s. It wasn't Israel that launched the Korean War. The United States has been a malignant empire since the end of the Second World War. And I could go back. There are only actually 6 years, in the hundreds of years since the American Declaration of Independence in 1776, that America has not been involved in a foreign war.
Just sort of be honest, really. So I think some people are worried about being too sincere in case they're criticised. They don't want someone to go, oh, God, oh, God, how soppy.
because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war.
No, it's not Israel that's controlling it. It's the people who support Israel that are controlling it. And the people who support Israel are both of the sides of the Uni Party. It's in the American empire's interest to support Israel. And they ruthlessly enforce it in the ways that you've just been talking. Iran committed two great sins, and none of them have anything to do with nuclear. After all, when the Shah wanted to go nuclear, the American company Westinghouse successfully bid for the project to build the nuclear plants in Iran. The two big sins of Iran are, first of all, they are the only state, Yemen being a partial state, and others being liberation movements, resistance movements. Iran is the only state that took action to defend the Palestinian people in Gaza and to contest the absolute domination of Israel in the region. That's its number one sin. Its number two sin is that it is an indispensable linchpin in the new world that is being born. Russia, China, Iran, the Belt and Road Initiative, the North-South Corridor, the means of breaking free from hundreds of years of Western hegemony require as a hinge a free, sovereign and independent Iran.
You don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. These people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're on the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them, and they're getting it.
Neil Young, Heart of Gold. Saturday, isn't it? Probably gonna stay in. Usually on a Saturday. Oh fuck! Party time, mental. I'm like, you just like. Nah, stay in. I stay in every Saturday. For the last sort of 20 or so years. Anyway, but I wanna stay in tonight anyway. There's a lovely episode of Porridge, which is a classic British sitcom for anyone around the world. It's a prison comedy, and it's about this guy called Fletcher who he's an habitual, and he gets this young guy, Godber, in his cell, and you realise that his job is trying to make this kid not make the same mistakes. He's sort of a father figure to him. And it might even be the first episode where, to make this kid feel better, he goes, "Should we go out tonight?" And the kid goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, let's just go down to the pub and then after we can go for a curry." And he goes, what would you have? What are you having? What would you? And they talk about it. And then Fletcher just goes, "No, let's just have a quiet night in." It's really sweet. So that's what we're doing now, isn't it? We're just having a quiet night in. I asked for some questions, didn't I? So look what I got. I've got a few here. Emma Dolan, the film you love. Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, I don't know. because if I love them, I probably don't think they're. I don't know. You mean like a guilty pleasure? I suppose I watch films on purpose and know they're on planes. Like that's the only time I watch a film about, I don't know, one man saving America from, a foreign force or aliens or something. That's when I watch one of those daft things. I think I've watched both of those. Was it London Has Fallen, then LA Has Fallen? Well, I watched both of those on a plane. But then you get a little gem that's meant to be, escapism. But it's really like the perfect aeroplane film for me is Limitless. Amazing. I loved it. I watched it twice. Watched it on the plane and then got it on DVD. So yeah. I'll watch on an aeroplane. When you've got 7 or 8 hours, you want a bit of escapism, and you let it off a little bit more because altitude. You go, yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Free champagne. Go on. Sheila Hudgkins says, "What's your favourite book you've ever read, and are you reading anything now?" Now, I've got to confess, I assume, which means like novels, and I never have read novels really, or fiction, unless I had to for like O level or something. I've read one novel sort of by choice as an adult, which was Catcher in the Rye, and I absolutely loved it. But it was like doing a marathon. I just sort of think, right, I've done it now. I've done that. I read a book. Yeah, I haven't got the right brain for fiction because I think my own thoughts kick in. They get in the way what I do. I do read, but I read non-fiction. I read science and philosophy. And if I'm walking along and I think of something, I want to know the answer, so I'll come home and Google it and read all about it. Like the other day, I was thinking, hold on, when I'm in a plane and you go through the clouds and it says external temperature minus 50 degrees, you're going through the clouds, which are water vapour, but mind, how are they not frozen? And if they're frozen, how do they stay up there? How does ice float? I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I came back and I learned all about clouds. So that's what I do. What was your favourite Christopher Hitchens moment? I love Hitchens. There's too many. It was so good. It was so good. Well, a personal moment where he wrote to me, he got my email and he wrote to me and he invited me for a pint when I was next in Washington, and I never got around to it. Yeah, he was great. Ollie is the best. Asks, how are you feeling? Fine. Are you painting anything new? No. It's so funny. Like, it was about maybe 2 weeks ago, I was going past the art shop in Hampstead and I thought, I'll get a new canvas. And then I didn't. And then a couple of days later, obviously all the shops shut. Apart from non-essentials, which art equipment isn't essential. Imagine getting caught out in the curfew. What are you doing now? I need some magenta. I need some titanium white. I've run out. Yeah. People keep asking me, I've said this before, can I bring forward Afterlife 2? Can't do it. They can't do it. I've checked. So watch Afterlife 1 again. Is there anyone watching this who hasn't watched Afterlife, the first season? I find that hard to believe after all I've done for you that you haven't watched. Well, arguably my greatest artistic achievement. So watch that. Before that, though, when everyone's been watching The Invention of Lying again, which went on Netflix this year, so that's lovely. It's like 10 years old, and yeah, had a new lease of life. So thanks for that. The Invention of Lying. Watch that if you haven't watched it. Afterlife. Invention of Lying. Ghost Town comes to Netflix on the 1st of April. My first movie. My first lead in a movie. And that's very, very sweet. A very sweet film. Really feel good, magical. It's not Christmassy, but it's got that vibe of It's a Wonderful Life or something like that. Ghost Town, 1st of April. This turns out to be just a big plug, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Ricky Netflix this month. Willoughby's, my first animated feature as a producer, and I play the cat, of course, based on Ollie. And that's April 22nd, and then the big one, Afterlife 2, April 24th. People were planning sort of watching parties, but now that's no, unless it's your family you're self-isolating with. And if someone you know hasn't got Netflix, give him your password. Is that allowed? I think Netflix are alright with that, aren't they? Give them your password. Or is that too tricky? Do I have to know too much? Or if you've got a relative who hasn't got Netflix or can't afford it, and buy it for them. That's what a lovely gift. What a lovely gift in these times of trouble. Buy someone you know Netflix for a couple of months so they can watch all the best programs and Afterlife. Then they can watch. Oh, what a lovely idea. I feel emotional that I've come up with such a beautiful idea that is absolutely no skin off my nose. That doesn't cost me anything. Oh dear. I'll say hello to some people. Oh, here we go again. Look at that. I look like a little mole coming out of the ground, and it's sunnier than I thought. Trying to read your names. Can't wait. Derek. The award room. No, it's just no. Well, but it's my study in my house, not my office. That's not in my house, my office. This is just my little. It's sort of, I don't know. It's got a desk. I'm sitting at my desk, and there's lots of awards. Everyone share Netflix. It's a great idea. Oh, someone's just said sharing Netflix in America is illegal. Will I get in trouble? Don't do that then. But you can, I don't know, you share it with the family, can't you? Can't you have on different devices? Oh, just buy it for them then. Is that legal? Can someone buy someone else Netflix? Of course you can. I saw that question that I did, the 3 people who'd like to be self-isolated with, doing the rounds, and I foolishly chose Winston Churchill, Sir Isaac Newton, and a random caveman, because I said the caveman wouldn't know who the other 2 were, and then someone pointed out, yeah, but Isaac Newton wouldn't know who Churchill was. It's a good point. I'd introduce them. What else? Any questions? Do the dance. I can't do the dance. Too weak and old. I saw people making jingles out of the stupid things I said. That's always nice. I have 2 golden retrievers. I love dogs. Yeah, I love dogs. Oh, it's so frustrating when you go out for your bit of exercise once a day. All the dogs I used to scruffle. You've got to keep away from people. Sort of way. The dog's thinking, what the Sing Hamster on a Piano. I'll post a link. It's from Derek. What's Derek? Derek. Nobody's this bored yet. Can I do an impression? Can I? Who do you want? I'll do any impression you want. Call them out. Just call out any impression. I'm like a fucking chameleon. Right? Go on. Right, first one, call an impression out. Right? Right, Clint Eastwood. Okay? Oh, go ahead, punk. Make my day. Go on. Try. See what you. Go on, another one. That's Clint Eastwood. Everyone knows who that is. I didn't have to say it. I'll do one without having to say it, right? Okay? Okay, yeah, right. Okay, I won't say it. So who's this? Are you looking at me? It seems like you've been looking at me. Yeah, you better not be looking at me. Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. What else? Come on, anyone you want, as hard as you like. Even. Oh yeah, okay. Though this is tough. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. This is too tough. Only because I can't speak German. That probably gives you a clue who they wanted me to do, and I don't want to do any hand gestures because someone has screen grab it. Liam Neeson. Okay, right, I'll do that. Right, I will find you, and I will kill you. How? Liam Neeson. Bill Cosby. No. No, come on. Children might be watching. Come on. Al Pacino. Right, okay, yeah. I can do him in Scent of Woman. Hoo-ah! Right. I can't see, so give us a hand. Give us a hand round here, will you? Hoo-ah. Oh, what are you wearing? What is that on? I like it. I like it. Hoo-ah! Marilyn Monroe. Oh yeah, that's tough. I'll do it when she was singing "Happy Birthday" to Kennedy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Really? The people still, they're going to be very similar. Right, here they come. No, not doing Rolf Harris, not doing Jimmy Savile. In fact, they're ones you can actually do quite easily, can't you? Prince Andrew, good one. Gordon Ramsay. Right, yeah, I'm not paying you. I can chop these nuts in, right? How? Gordon Ramsay. Abe Lincoln. No, I won't take my hat off. I'm watching the play. How? The Queen. That's tough. That is tough. He's a what? Dirty little. That'll do, won't it? Stay well. Watch telly. See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform.
I think Starmer's one of the worst prime ministers we've ever had, and he's only been with us 81 days. But look what he's done in those 81 days. He's allowed the Chancellor to go ahead with a scheme where 4,000 pensioners could freeze to death this winter, and those are Labour figures, by the way, not Tory figures, OK. He's introduced a raft of policies like energy, which could make us dependent on overseas energy ad infinitum, so dictators around the world will control what we have in this country. Never mind the sleaze. I mean, goodness gracious, he stood up in the Commons once, looked across the box at Boris Johnson and said, sleaze, sleaze, sleaze. There's never been a sleazier Prime Minister. Never been a sleazier Prime Minister.
Then Keir Starmer.
Never.
So what makes you call him sleazy? Sleazy's an interesting word for you to use.
Well, if you're walking around in other people's suits to try and improve your image, I saw one...
Well, it's his suit. It's just paid for by somebody else.
I reckon he was a useless lawyer, a boring, useless public sector lawyer. Boring, useless public sector lawyer.
A lot of public interest cases, and then he served
boring,
useless, public prosecution. Where he changed the approach, so they started prosecuting grooming gangs.
Adenoidal voice, incapable of thinking on his feet.
He is actually. I think in there is a decent man, quite amused,
Really?
wry sense of humour.
I don't think Lou Haig thinks so, the Transport Secretary sacked. I don't think Angie Rayner, the former Deputy Prime Minister, thinks he's decent. I think they think he's treacherous, disloyal, doesn't believe in anything, doesn't believe in anybody, throws people under a bus because he's useless.
Do you think society could survive if everyone was kind, generous and thoughtful? Or do we need ruthless bastards to drive industry and make the difficult decisions? I don't know. I don't think you have to not be kind and generous and thoughtful to make difficult decisions, do you? You know, it's kind to decide to have your pet put down. It's a terrible decision, but it's kind. It's a kind decision. So I don't think those two are in conflict. But I know exactly what you mean. I think naturally we probably are kind and generous and nurturing, but we developed our intelligence was sort of relied a bit on violence because we didn't have the tools, did we, to defend ourselves. So we had to come up with cunning, evil fucking ways to catch stuff and eat it. So, but I think naturally we probably are generous and nurturing too, you know. We had to be really kind and generous and nurturing because we didn't have the tools and we had to look after our young in a scary place. But I mean, I don't know about politics. I think politicians have proved that it's nothing to do with doing what's right for most people now. Even if they start off going into it with good intentions, all the compromises, all the worries about trying to please everyone, they soon start, you know, not doing a great job. And now a lot of them have proved that they're blatant. They're in it for themselves. So, I don't know. I think the utopia you're talking about probably is possible, but yeah, I think there's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Genius, Rick. What do you think about the world? There's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Brilliant.
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform and take
sensible
measures
reform, absolutely.
But things like anti-forestalling clause, they are not unique to this situation. But on a human level, the answer to your question is, of course, not.
But last year, you told me that this was a policy that was just aimed at revenue raising, that it wasn't targeted at anybody in particular. We've now seen the anti-forestalling clause, and we know from Treasury's own figures that 75% of the £500 million that is expected to be raised for this will come from farmers who die over the age of 75. So, is it not the case that actually this is a targeted measure, and it is targeted at, and it will affect those who are elderly, suffering from terminal illnesses over 75, and it doesn't matter if it's one farmer or 1,000 farmers. Surely you cannot be comfortable with that.
Let me just address the point that it's not targeted. It's not targeted at individuals.
Well, it was what you said last year.
It's not targeted, as I said last year. It's an economic reform which we took in the budget before last. Not targeted. It is to adjust the rate at which inheritance tax is, the fact that it's paid, the rate at which it's paid, and the period over which it is paid. But it's not targeted against individuals. I'm not arguing with you that there are therefore going to be individuals affected, as there are with any change in any tax regime. But there's a difference between changing the tax regime and targeting a group of individuals. This is about changing the tax regime.
The anti-forestalling clause that we've spoken about traps farmers into the new rules. It doesn't allow them the same opportunities that other taxpayers will have to use tax planning to manage their affairs in a sensible way that will allow the succession of family farms in this country.
That doesn't make it targeted. It is a necessary consequence of the decisions that we've taken. But I can assure you, as you would expect, the President of the NFU has raised this issue with me on more than one occasion.
Not just the President of the NFU.
Well, I appreciate that.
You've heard it from Cat Smith, you've heard it from my Select Committee, you've heard it from the Welsh Affairs Select Committee, you've heard it from the Northern Ireland Affairs Committee. These are all select committees, incidentally, that have majorities from the Labour Party, and they have all produced unanimous reports calling for this to be paused and rethought. You don't have to listen to me. You don't even have to listen to the farmers out there. You don't have to listen to the President of the NFU. But why do you not listen to your own party colleagues?
I do listen to party colleagues all the time.
And then do what you're going to do anyway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carmichael.
I mean, they allowed him to evade questions like he does in Prime Minister's questions. Because what's interesting is, at the liaison committee, he admitted that jury trials won't actually help to solve the backlog. So he's ditching 800 years of our judiciary system and our freedoms just for, nothing. And he's also admitted that he knows of people who are terminally ill who may end up taking their life before the farm taxes actually come into place. So again, that wasn't in the manifesto, and they should be grilling at him about it, because it's broken promises that he wasn't actually promised in the manifesto, that he has no mandate to actually implement. And again, with the illegal migration, Labour MPs, they celebrated 28 days of no boats coming in prematurely, because after that we had 700 come in, and that's taken us over 40,000 legal migrants that came into the UK. So again, it's like we're having to rely on bad weather to keep us safe at border control. So where is our tax money actually going? Because it's appalling.
And Chris Rose, when you look at the makeup of the examiners today, 8 out of 12 from the Labour Party, 3 from the Conservatives, only 1 Liberal Democrat, and of course nobody from Reform UK. Does it sort of cast a sort of shadow of doubt over the entire point of these things? I mean, it's like 8 of your mates, giving you an end-of-year review. I mean, why bother?
That's the thing. I mean, we know that he's going to go soft with them. Keir Starmer doesn't like scrutiny. He even left the liaison committee early as well, because when he's held up to scrutiny, he doesn't like it at all. He he doesn't like his pre-prepared questions, taking another route. He can't think quick on his feet. I mean, Kenny Badenoch is actually running rings around him at Prime Minister's questions now as well. You know, even with journalists who used to support him, you know, during the election last year, and now that they're scrutinising him more, you can see the anger and his short temper coming out of him a bit. So he doesn't like it. So that's why they've picked, you know, easy questions from, you know, 8 of his mates instead of an actual grilling that he fully deserved. Looking at his popularity ratings, he really needs to be grilled, particularly by even his own MPs, because things aren't looking well for them at all, according to the polling. They're currently in 3rd place, 4th place, pushing down. And as you heard, as read, Reform now have more party members than Labour as well, because they've all drifted off to Green Party, whatever SAC is offering them. And, you know, things aren't looking well. So I don't know why he doesn't want more scrutiny, because after the next local elections in May, I think they may move to actually get rid of him as leader, and certainly the Chancellor as well. So going ahead in easy mode is just bringing them, you know, it's just delusional.